expected to save up to 7 billion ringgit through biomass pallets. Fahmi Fadil to meet officials from Meta to discuss security issues. Good evening and Salam Malaysia Madani. You're watching Malaysia Tonight with me, SAHIH. In just a year, the unity government has successfully resolved more issues related to the Malaysia Agreement 1963 MA63 compared to previous governments. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said that various steps have been taken under his leadership as Prime Minister and by the federal government to expedite the implementation of MA63, including directing Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof to chair meetings relating to the matter. For Sabah alone, he said many issues within MA63 have been successfully resolved, and this includes the transfer of regulatory power over the electricity supply and the power to approve any development project worth 50 million ringgit or less to the state government. The Prime Minister said that the agreement must be fulfilled, but it has been delayed for various reasons. He added that in the 1 year of administration, the unity government have resolved more than what was achieved over the past decades. Datuk Seri Anwar said this when officiating the groundbreaking ceremony for the 4 billion ringgit Ulu Padas hydroelectric dam here today. Also present were Chief Minister Datuk Seri Haji Jinor, Deputy Chief Minister 1 Datuk Seri Dr. Jeffrey Kitingan, and Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Sabah, Sarawak Affairs and Special Functions, Datuk Armizan Muhammad Ali. At the same time, Datuk Seri Anwar reminded Sabahans not to listen to politicians who make statements not based on facts. He said even though the Madani government has always been open to any forms of criticism, it should not be used to disrupt the existing harmony in the country. According to Datuk Seri Anwar, a total of 16.217 billion ringgit has been allocated for the development and administration of Sabah, which is the highest allocation among all states in Malaysia. The Prime Minister said that PAS and Perikatan Nasional have also been questioning the rationality behind the large allocation for Sabah. Datuk Seri Anwar, however, defended the necessity of the allocation, saying that the efforts taken to further develop the state of Sabah requires a large funding. Malaysia is expected to save up to 7 billion ringgit by the year 2030 by using biomass pellet as a national energy source. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof said the use of biomass pellets produced from recycled organic waste can reduce dependence on imported coal.
That will be the option, and of course, if we can produce more, that become a green energy, so that we don't rely anymore on coal. That is under national NETR. That is one of the initiative that we're looking at. So that's why di bawah kementerian kita, apa yang kita katakan buat ladang hutan. Dan kita tanam pokok yang boleh tumbuh dalam 5 tahun you can harvest. Termasuk buloh. Buloh is an effective untuk buat charcoal.
Speaking after officiating the National Biomass Conference 2023 today, he said the step is also taken to strengthen the country's biomass industry. The matter being given emphasis right now is whether or not the country has sufficient resources to meet the demand for organic waste material to generate energy. Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fadil today said that he will be meeting officials from Meta, the administrator of the WhatsApp social media application, next week for clarification on certain security issues. The minister, who described the issue of fraud as a worrying trend, said that he personally had received complaints from several individuals about their WhatsApp accounts being stolen by irresponsible parties.
Cybersecurity Malaysia juga telah mengeluarkan satu amaran tentang bahaya WhatsApp account yang telah diambil alih oleh penjenayah. Jadi saya rasa kita akan adakan sedikit pertemuan dengan pihak WhatsApp yang dikendalikan oleh Meta untuk memahami apakah aspek-aspek keselamatan yang ada pada waktu ini kurang cukup dan dapat dieksploitasi oleh para penjenayah.
Met by reporters today, Fahmi said that beginning next year, Cybersecurity Malaysia will be promoting the anti-scam tour program as an effort to increase public awareness of cybersecurity issues and preventive measures so that the public does not become a victim of online fraud. Malaysians have incurred losses of almost 330 million ringgit to scams on Meta platforms, which include Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp, based on reported losses between January to May 2023. Deputy Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Minister Fuzia Saleh today said that Malaysians need to make informed decisions based on facts rather than emotions. She said this when addressing the emotional sentiment surrounding the conflict Gaza and the recent spate of boycotts involving companies with purported links to Israel. She said Malaysians should explore alternative ways of expressing their support for the Palestinian people, such as making charitable contributions through reputable non-governmental organisation NGOs.
Mereka perlu ada fakta lah. Mereka perlu ada fakta dan mereka tidak harus ikut emosi semata. Ya, maksud yes, we are emotional about Gaza. So mungkin mereka boleh menyumbang, cara lainnya mereka boleh menyumbang kepada bantuan. Contohnya pilih NGO yang ada bertanggungjawab memastikan sampai bantuan tersebut.
She said this during a press conference after launching the Buy Malaysian Goods campaign in the nation's capital today. She further emphasised that at the end of the day, it is a personal choice and a matter of individual rights. Coming up in our business segment, new and existing airlines to undergo evaluation before obtaining air service license. New and existing airline must go through an evaluation and audit process by various levels within the Malaysian Aviation Commission (MAVCOM) before they can obtain or renew their air service license (ASL). Transport Minister Anthony Loke Siew Fook said among the key aspects to be scrutinised is their financial capabilities, including their ability to sustain operation for 3 to 6 months.
Kemampuan dari segi operasi 3 hingga 6 bulan itu dilihat. Kalau cash flow mereka tidak cukup kuat, kemungkinan lesen itu tidak dapat diperbaharui ataupun hanya satu tempoh yang pendek saja akan diberikan. Kita sama-sama juga ingin memberikan perlindungan kepada penumpang-penumpang yang membeli tiket penerbangan supaya apa yang berlaku terhadap syarikat My Airline ini tidak berlaku lagi. Terima kasih.
He was responding to a supplementary question on the aspects being looked into to ensure that airline companies meet the licensing requirements before and after commencing operations. Loke further said that this would provide protection to passengers who purchase air tickets and ensure that what happened to My Airline before will not recur. Earlier, Loke said that MAVCOM will not require new or existing airlines that have obtained the ASL to place a deposit with them. He added that such a condition is not practiced in the aviation industry or by aviation authorities in any other countries. The electric motorcycle use scheme, which offers a 2,400 ringgit rebate to qualified buyers for the purchase of electric motorcycles, will be launched tomorrow. Investment, Trade and Industry Minister Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Tengku Abdul Aziz said the scheme, which is in line with the National Energy Transition Roadmap, is provided for those with an annual income of 120,000 ringgit and below.
Pada 8 Disember ini kita akan melancarkan satu skim, ya, skim kita panggil kita namakan Mari CAS. Mari CAS kerana di bawah Mari, Malaysian Automotive Research and Internet of Things lah, kita salah satu agensi di bawah MITI, di mana sesiapa yang berpendapatan RM120,000 ke bawah, ya, akan mendapat grant tunai sebanyak 2,400 kalau qualify semua condition lah, akan diberi RM2,400 ini bila beli motosikal EV.
He said this on the Selamat Pagi Malaysia television program broadcast live this morning. Previously, during the tabling of Budget 2024, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said that the electric motorcycle use program will be open to the people this month. Meanwhile, Tengku Dato Sri Zafrul said the government is targeting an increase in electric car EV charging locations in line with the target of 10,000 charging points by 2025. MIDF research expects Malaysia's gross domestic product GDP growth rate to improve to 4.7% in 2024, supported by the recovery in external trade and sustained growth in domestic demand. Director and Head of Strategy Imran Yassin Muhammad Yusof said positive job market conditions, income growth and continued recovery in the tourism sector will also support the domestic spending outlook.
Because external trade has been on the negative growth trend this year, all throughout this year. But next year we're going to expect a positive growth. So that is going to help push our GDP to give one support. So that's one engine running. And then domestic demand is expected to be resilient. So now with two engines running, that's why we are expecting better growth for Malaysia next year.
He said the research firm is cautiously optimistic about the economic and equities market growth prospect for 2024, albeit at a steady pace. He added that many of the factors which influence 2023, such as inflation and interest rates, are seeming to have waned. Furthermore, the factor of United States rate hikes will likely dissipate in 2024, and MIDF research expects that the recovery of China's economy will continue into 2024, supporting the recovery of Malaysia's external trade. CPE Technology Berhad made its debut on Bursa's Malaysia main market today at 90 cent, a discount of 17 cent compared to its initial public offering IPO price of 1 ringgit and 7 cent. At the opening bell, the engineering support services provider making precision machine parts and components providing computer numerical control machining services saw 6.31 million shares traded. CPE Technology Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer Lee Chen Yong said the IPO proceeds will be used to purchase new machinery and equipment and the relocation of existing ones.
We will buy a new set of lands and construct a new factory, which is in our prospectus. And we also will increase our machineries, capex, to cater for the growth of the semicon markets, which is likely to happen on next year.
He said this to reporters after the group listing today. CPE Technology raised 179.58 million ringgit from the IPO via the issuance of 167.83 million new ordinary shares, following an oversubscription rate of 17.69 times. Lee added that the CPE Technology is planning to purchase land in Ulu Tiram, Johor to build a new plant with an IPO allocation of 69.60 million ringgit for the project. Its order book as at 23rd October 2023 stood at 69.27 million ringgit. The 28th session of the Conference of the Parties COP28 to have United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change started Thursday afternoon in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. The conference, running from until 12 December, welcomed more than 70,000 delegates from around the globe in a bid to work out a worldwide solution to the pressing climate issues facing the planet. After being formally appointed, the COP28 President, UAE Minister of Industry and Advanced Technology, Sultan Ahmed Al Jaber, said this year's conference will focus on climate finance challenges. This year's climate conference has garnered notable global attention as it marks the conclusion of the Global Stocktake, the first ever two-year assessment of the world's collective progress towards the goal of the 2015 Paris Agreement. Several countries led by the UAE made their financial commitments to the fund, with the UAE contributing $100 million, Germany $100 million, Britain £40 million, Japan $10 million, and the United States $17.5 million. The Loss and Damage Fund, established at COP27 in Egypt in 2022, has been a long-standing demand of developing nations coping with the cost of the devastation caused by ever-increasing extreme weather events. Still to come in our foreign front, Russian presidential election announced for 17 March next year. Russia's upper house of parliament voted on Thursday to set the date for Russia's presidential election for 17 March 2024. The decision was passed unanimously by 162 votes in the Federation Council. Valentina Matviyenko, head of the Federation Council, said with this decision, Russia is effectively launching the start of the election campaign. She added that for the first time, residents of the parts of Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhia and Kherson regions of Ukraine annexed by Russia would take part in the vote. Although President Vladimir Putin has not yet announced his intention to run again, he is widely expected to do so in the coming days now that the date has been set. Under constitutional reforms he orchestrated in 2020, the 71-year-old is eligible to seek 2 more 6-year terms after his current one expires next year. Having established tight control over Russia's political system, Putin's victory is all but assured if he runs. Top EU officials met Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing on Thursday for their first in-person summit in 4 years to discuss issues ranging from trade imbalances to Ukraine, with an agenda full of tough rhetoric but light on deliverables. During the meeting attended by European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, European Council President Charles Michel and EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell, Xi urged the EU to work with China to provide global stability, enhance mutual political trust and eliminate all kinds of interference in the bilateral relationship. EU officials said the two sides could cooperate more on action to end the war in Ukraine and to bring humanitarian support to Gaza, with Michel also expressing concern over the increasing tensions in the Straits of Taiwan and the South China Sea, while reiterating that the EU recognizes the One China policy. The EU officials will also meet Chinese Premier Li Qiang on their one-day visit. It will be their last chance to get face time with top Chinese officials before the European Parliament elections kick off next year, triggering changes in the bloc's leadership. Jordan Air dropped 2 tons of medical aid over Gaza on Wednesday as Palestinian medics in the south said supplies were running out amid Israel's continued bombardment of the Strip. Only a fraction of Gaza's hospitals remain operational due to Israeli bombing and a lack of fuel. And those still functioning are increasingly overwhelmed by new waves of wounded. Warning of a severe risk of collapse of the humanitarian system, United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres on Wednesday invoked rarely used Article 99 of the founding UN Charter to push for a ceasefire in a letter to the Security Council. Figures from Gaza's health ministry put the death toll in Gaza at 16,015, including 43 reported by one hospital on Tuesday and 73 by another on Wednesday. But since Monday, the ministry has not released daily casualty updates for all of Gaza, leaving it unclear whether the new overall toll was comprehensive. A container ship collided with a floating bridge in the eastern lane of the Suez Canal on Wednesday, but the passage of the ships through the waterway was not interrupted. The Suez Canal Authority (SCA) confirmed the crash does not affect traffic along the canal, a waterway which connects the Mediterranean Sea with the Red Sea over a stretch of some 190 kilometers. Video posted on social media showed tugboats rescuing the one Orpheus after it suffered a fault with its rudder while transiting the canal on its way from Singapore to the Netherlands. The Canal Authority said convoys of ships coming from the south were diverted along the original branch of the canal, and the one Orpheus, along with 6 ships behind it, resumed their journeys after the faulty rudder was repaired. The Suez Canal is one of the world's most heavily used shipping lanes and an important source of foreign currency for Egypt. In 2021, it caught headlines worldwide when the Ever Given, one of the largest container ships in the world, blocked the canal for 6 days in 2021, disrupting global trade. Man United triumphs while Man City stunned in each of their Premier League games. That and more coming up in sports. Manchester United boss Erik ten Hag said his side sent a message with a 2-1 win over Chelsea to ease the pressure on the Dutchman. Ten Hag got the response he desired as Scott McTominay's double rewarded arguably United's best performance of the season with 3 points. His big decision to drop Marcus Rashford to the bench among 4 changes paid dividends as Ten Hag was rewarded with a far more energetic display. The Red Devils should have taken the lead in the 9th minute, but captain Bruno Fernandes' penalty shot was saved by Chelsea keeper Robert Sanchez. Chelsea and Sanchez resistance was finally broken when McTominay swept home his 5th goal of the season to become United's top scorer in the Premier League on 19 minutes. The opponents responded with an equaliser just before half-time, but McTominay's ruthlessness after the break took the hosts to the front yet again. A 6 win in 8 league games lifts United up to 6th and within 3 points of champions Manchester City in 4th. Despite shelling out over £1 billion on new players in 3 transfer windows, Chelsea remained down in 10th. Meanwhile, in another match, Aston Villa dealt a major blow to Manchester City's Premier League title challenge as Leon Bailey clinched a 1-0 win against the reigning champions this morning. Bailey's deflected second-half strike at Villa Park moved Unai Emery's side above sputtering City into 3rd place. Pep Guardiola's 4th place team have gone 4 league games without a win and sit 6 points behind leaders Arsenal. After draws with Chelsea, Liverpool and Tottenham, the treble winners desperately needed to beat Villa to keep in touch with the Gunners. Instead, they produced their worst performance of the damaging run and could easily have lost by more than 1 goal. City looked wary for long periods, but with a trip to Saudi Arabia for the FIFA Club World Cup looming before the hectic Christmas schedule, there is little respite in sight. Reacting to questions this week about City's blip, Guardiola boldly proclaimed his team will definitely retain their Premier League title. Manchester City's injured midfielder Kevin De Bruyne was a surprise inclusion in the treble winners squad for the FIFA Club World Cup. De Bruyne has been sidelined since suffering a recurrence of a hamstring injury in City's opening Premier League game of the season at Burnley in August. The Belgian needed surgery on the problem which he originally sustained in City's Champions League final victory over Inter Milan. Speaking at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in November, he said he hoped to return in early 2024. City manager Pep Guardiola recently backed that assessment of his influential star's fitness. But FIFA's official website confirmed De Bruyne's presence in City's 23-man squad for the tournament in Saudi Arabia. Whether the 32-year-old will be fit enough to feature remains to be seen. The Club World Cup begins on 12 December, although City, who are representing Europe as the Champions League holders, do not enter until the semi-final stage 7 days later. They will play the winner of the second round match between Mexican side Club Leon and Urawa Red Diamonds of Japan. City's potential final opponents are Al Ahly, Al Ittihad, Auckland City and Fluminense. Winning the Club World Cup would give City 4 major trophies this year after they clinched the Premier League, Champions League and FA Cup last term. Carlos Queiroz has parted company with Qatar's national team less than a year after signing a 4-year contract to coach the Asian champions and with little more than a month until the nation hosts the next edition of the Asian Cup. The former Real Madrid and Portugal head coach took over as a long-term replacement for Felix Sanchez in February after the Qataris hosted last year's World Cup finals and was charged with qualifying the Gulf state for the 2026 tournament. In a statement, Qatar Football Association said Queiroz' tenure as head coach of the Qatar national team has ended amicably by mutual agreement between the two parties. The body also expresses its sincere gratitude to Coach Queiroz for his unwavering dedication, leadership and contributions during his tenure. Queiroz oversaw wins over Afghanistan and India in November in the second round of Asia's preliminaries for the next World Cup, with the Qataris chasing one of 8 berths available for teams from the continent at the expanded 48-team finals. Qatar won their first Asian Cup title under Sanchez in 2019, and the country is due to defend the trophy on home soil next month when they have been drawn to face China, Tajikistan and Lebanon in the group phase. The Gulf nation is hosting the Continental Championship after original host China relinquished the rights due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Inter Miami's Argentine superstar Lionel Messi was named Time's 2023 Athlete of the Year by the Time magazine on Tuesday. Messi was honoured by Time after his move to the Major League Soccer MLS club Inter Miami from the French powerhouse Paris Saint-Germain PSG in July. In August, the 36-year-old led Inter Miami to North America's League Cup triumph, which was the US club's first title in history. He scored 10 goals in 7 League Cup matches for Inter Miami to make a big impact on US football scene in a short time. In October, Messi took his record-extending 8th Ballon d'Or award after guiding Argentina to the 2022 FIFA World Cup title. It was Argentina's first World Cup victory since 1986. Messi, who played for Barcelona for more than a decade, scored 672 goals in 778 appearances to be the Spanish club's all-time top scorer. He won numerous titles at Barcelona, including 10 Spanish La Liga titles and 4 UEFA Champions League titles. During his football career, Messi won 44 trophies, including the 2021 Copa America and 2022 World Cup with Argentina. Formula One's governing body, the Fédération Internationale de l'Automobile, announced a compliance probe on Tuesday that drew a furious response from the sport's owners, top team Mercedes, and one of the most senior women in motorsport. The storm broke after the FIA issued a surprise statement saying it was looking into reports a team boss had received confidential information from an employee of the commercial rights holder. The FIA said it is aware of media speculation centered on the allegation of information of a confidential nature being passed to an F1 team principal from a member of FOM personnel. Although the principal was not named, media identified him as Mercedes Toto Wolff, whose wife, Susie, leads the all-female F1 Academy and reports to Formula One Chief Executive Stefano Domenicali. Susie Wolff, a former racer who was also previously a team boss in the all-electric Formula E series, said on Instagram that she felt deeply insulted but sadly unsurprised by the allegations.
Perlawanan akhir Piala Malaysia 2023. Pertembungan penentuan dalam menakluki tahta tergolong bola sepak Malaysia kini bakal dimuktamadkan. Adakah Harimau Selatan atau skuad Sang Penyu yang bakal mendominasi perlawanan? Jumaat 8 Disember, Johor Darul Takzim bertemu Terengganu FC 8.30 malam di saluran OK dan saluran sukan RTM. Saksikan juga secara penserima langsung di RTM Klik.
That concludes this evening's edition of Malaysia Tonight. In our top story, Malaysia expected to save up to 7 billion ringgit through biomass pellets. Do tune in to World Today coming up tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. on TV2. You can also stream it via the MyClick app. Till then, I'm SAHIH. From the river to the sea, Paul Stein will be free. Thanks for watching.